Hey everybody, this is Kim Dahnke, the Shibboleth new member, fast track instructor. Happy Sunday. I hope that you've had a great day. And I just want to tell you how excited I am that you are here with me tonight. We are going to be doing the lifestyle overview tonight. Basically, this is Shibboleth in a nutshell. And I truly believe that what you hear tonight can be applied tomorrow, the next day, and all this coming week for great results immediately. So listen in and start to apply these things tomorrow, and you'll have great results. If you are on Facebook, please take a second to say hello. Let me know that you're there. Give a few hearts and likes if you're a member. And if you're a member, we would love for you to share this. Share it and say, hey, y'all, this is what I do. You want to listen in tonight? It's free to share, and somebody really could use the information. It might be the right thing for them today. If you are in the Zoom room, welcome. Please set your chat to everyone. We'll go ahead. Hey, Marcella, we'll go ahead and do that little bit of housekeeping. Find where your chat is, either on your phone or on your, hey, Sonia, on your phone or on your computer, and then set it to everyone. Look out to the right of your name in the chat. And if it says everyone can see. If it just says hosts and panelists, I'm the only one that can see. Hey, Mama. My mother is over on Facebook. We got Marcella and Becky and Connie and Ray. Hey there in the Zoom room. Hey, Chris on Facebook. So glad that y'all are here. Hey, Nikki in the Zoom room. We got Tracy. Tracy's brand new. Welcome, Tracy. We got Nancy. Hello. Hey, Jennifer. So glad that y'all are here. We got one more minute before we get started. Let's say, hello, my name is Rob, and my sister and I are doing this together. Awesome. Awesome. That's wonderful. We're glad that you're here. Hey, Molly. I would love to know how y'all heard about Shibboleth. It's always interesting to me how you heard about it. So we'll just take one more second while I'm getting something prepared. Y'all tell me how you heard about Shibboleth. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to use a PowerPoint tonight. And the thing that I would really love for you to do, oh, my mother heard about it from me. Chris heard about it from Tabitha Rogers. Awesome. Oh, there's another Tabitha Rogers over here. Awesome. Through 4-H. That's wonderful. Molly heard about it from Alicia Edwards, and she's lost 90 pounds. Oh, my goodness. Yes, it's amazing. A friend of my sister's is on it. Awesome. Oh, and Jennifer heard about it from Nicole. I love Nicole. And Jennifer is my sister. Awesome. Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well, good. Okay. Thank y'all for sharing that with me. So one of the things that is going to be really important for you to do this week is just to take some notes of some reminders that you're wanting to start applying. Okay. Hey, Nikki, a friend from church. Awesome. Church is a great place to hear about it. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to use a PowerPoint tonight. You will have access to this PowerPoint after tonight. So you don't need to screenshot it or anything like that, but I would take notes if it were me. Okay, so just take notes on all the important things. And Barbara, okay, you were a Thrive member. Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you're starting off with Fast Track too. Again, because Fast Track is awesome. I don't know what that means, Mother. Okay, so the Shibboleth lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. It is not a diet, okay? The first 3 letters in the word diet spelled die, and it just is so restrictive and everything in a diet. But this lifestyle is absolutely amazing. Do you want to know what I had for dinner tonight? Bread pudding. Bread pudding that people would normally eat as a dessert. The way that I made it was with some lean protein and a fibrous carb. It was delicious. And how fun was that? I don't normally eat something that tastes so desserty for dinner, but it sure was fun to be able to do something like that. So I am having a great time living the Shibboleth lifestyle. Myself personally, I lost I lost 50 pounds 2.5 years ago, and I have now kept that off for 2 years. And I am happily keeping this off for 2 years. Okay, so tonight we're going to go over the basics. What's the new language that you're going to hear in the Shibboleth, on the Shibboleth planet? Whether you're on a video, whether you're looking at our website, whether you're participating in Facebook. Okay, what language are you going to hear? You're going to hear what I'm going to go over tonight. Okay, so simply tonight I am going to hit the basics, but it's Shibboleth in a nutshell. So on Shibboleth, and I like to call Shibboleth a management system. A management system gives me a way to think about my month, my week, my day, my meal, and a moment of weakness. I like to manage all of those things. Okay. I look at the overview for a month, but then I kind of narrow it down to individual things. So we're going to tell you how to manage all of this. And weight does need to be managed. Okay, so on Shibboleth, we have two modes. You are either in weight loss mode or maintenance mode. Obviously, most people start off in weight loss mode, but I have had a person or two come in maintenance, just very few though. So weight loss or maintenance, those are the two modes, and you'll set that mode in your profile in your account. There's only three differences between the two modes. One is simply the number of holidays that you can use in a calendar month. Now, a holiday is a day where you are not doing all the right things. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the number of holidays changes between weight loss and maintenance. How you eat fruit, I know that sounds funny, but how you eat fruit changes, and your mindset. See, right now you may be thinking diet. You may be starting off with diet mentality. And if you are, just go with it, okay? But by the time you get to maintenance, we've got to realize that this is a lifestyle. And if you go back to the old habits you had before, you get the same results as before. We want these to be lifelong, permanent, new habits. Okay. It is wonderful. I mean, I absolutely fully, I have what I call hashtag Shibboleth confidence. I don't think I'm ever going back the other way. And I am so thankful for that. Okay. So there are two types of days. There's either a perfect day or a holiday. Now the world, and you may have heard this, the world may call it a cheat day. We don't call it cheating. I mean, why should we put such a negative word? Thank you, Patty. Why should we put such a negative word on food? It's just food. The food that goes in us is not what defiles us. Food can be used in celebratory type ways and all of those things. So it's not that we're cheating. It's just that we're choosing to have certain foods on certain days, but not our perfect days. It's really just managing. Okay. So we don't say cheat day. We say holiday. All right. And that is a day where you're not hitting all the parts of a perfect day. Now, when you go in to make your very first journal entry and you click the little drop down menu and you get a little list, you're going to say, wait a minute, I thought that she said there were only two types of days. If you are a Tiger's Eye lifetime member, you're going to see about 10 or 11 different types there. And I want you to put blinders on and not even look at those other types of days, because you do not need those other types of days right now. This is me telling you to not get overwhelmed with all of those days. You are only looking for perfect day or holiday. We got to get all the basics of the lifestyle down before we were to ever move to any of those advanced types of days. So just ignore them for now. You're looking for perfect day or holiday. Let's see, Victoria, first time in here, I need to know how to begin. Well, Victoria, you are here on the very first night of my week-long class. So that is awesome. And what I'm going to do at the end of this class, Victoria, is show you the fast track on the website where you're going to, it's a very organized, methodical curriculum that you just kind of work yourself through and check the little boxes and you'll get yourself all set up. But tonight is the night that I start teaching everybody. So you're in the right place. That's the only thing I've gone over so far is that we have weight loss mode or maintenance mode, and we have 2 types of days. So this is the overview of the lifestyle, Victoria. Glad you're here. All right. How many holidays are allowed? When you are in weight loss mode, you can use up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. I know lots of people that don't use all 6, and I know people that use 6, and some vary. But you can use, hey, Angelia. Hey, Chris. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, Chris, and everybody can use up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. And then once you get to maintenance, you can use up to 12 holidays in a calendar month. Think about that. That is almost half a month. You could kind of do whatever you want to do and not have to be technically perfect according to the lifestyle, and do what you want to do. It's almost half the month. But you might be thinking, if I do whatever I want to do up to 12 times a month, how am I going to keep the results that I got in weight loss mode? Those other 18 to 19 days in a maintenance month, they've got to be truly perfect. They can't be leaning over into okay days, okay? But we'll talk more about that later. And I just want you to be aware of the difference. But everything that I talk about in Fast Track is up to 6 holidays, all right? So that's our focus right now, up to 6 holidays if you choose to use them. How do you have what we call a perfect day? It's really, really easy. You follow the Shibboleth shield. Shibboleth is the name of our company. If you are new, there is actually, it is a company, but it's a ministry. We are working on getting it set up as a 501c3. This is a ministry. We want everybody to be able to have access to this information. Okay. And if you are in the Facebook groups, which if you work your way through the curriculum, the Fast Track curriculum, it will lead you to joining those Facebook groups. It leads you to do everything if you'll just trust the Fast Track system and work your way through it. But the origins of Shibboleth and how the name came about, there's 2 videos in there, one by Travis and one by Sasha, and it's marked in the announcements, and you can watch that to find out more about this crazy name. Okay, follow the Shibboleth shield. When you have a day where you're following the Shibboleth shield and you get all of these 5 components going on, you call that a perfect day. After 2 perfect days, you get into EFB, efficient fat burning. This is a very exciting concept because after 2 days of eating and doing right, on that 3rd day and how many ever you have after that, your body is efficiently burning fat. This is a good thing. All right, so we have 5 components to a perfect day, and they are simply water, journal, combinations, portions, and timing. We're going to go over each and every one of these individually. You're seeing 5 components that are there. The first 4 are what have to be met in order for you to say that you've had a perfect day. Okay, so the water, journal, combinations, and portions have to be met in order to say that you've had a perfect day. And the timing part is for optimization. So component number 1 of the shield is water. You want to drink at least a half a gallon to a gallon of water every day. That's 64 ounces up to 128 ounces. So it's simply 4 of these at a minimum, but shoot for 8. A dehydrated body will not efficiently give up fat or waste, and we need both of those things to be moving out on a regular basis, and water helps you do that. Component number 2 of the shield is to journal. You've got to write down what you're eating. This part is big in the behavior modification area. If we're all honest with ourselves, we have some behaviors around food that need to be modified, and writing them down helps us make those good choices. We are going to do this thing in a mindful way, not a mindless way. We're going to do this thing a very conscientious way rather than just not even focusing at all. Okay. So if you bite it, you write it. If you nibble it, you scribble it. If you drink it, you ink it. And if you hog it, you log it. Okay. We're going to write down absolutely everything that we eat so that we can see patterns and everything. And the other great thing is when you have a really awesome week, you've enjoyed all of your food. If you are journaling, you are creating your future meal plans because you can go and print those weeks and use them again in the future. So you got to write down what you are eating every day. Component number 3 of the shield is combinations. We are going to eat properly combined meals. We're going to eat in a way that controls insulin, aka the fat bus. Properly combined meals keep away the fat bus. Okay, the fat bus is insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone. It is a growth hormone that is focused on fat storage. Now, it can come out to do a job of regulating regulating blood sugar, but if you eat fat with things that produce an insulin release, we're going to talk about this more in a second, that fat is going to get stored. So we keep those things away from each other in our meals. So properly combined meals, this is a secret alert right here, y'all. Secret alert. Component number 4 of the shield is portions. We're going to eat properly portioned meals from a 6 to 8 inch plate using the 2-hand rule. So basically the 2-hand rule trumps any size plate you have. If you're using a 6-inch plate, you could use really probably the whole thing. But if you're using an 8-inch plate, we're not talking the 2-inch rim around the edge. Okay. So that's why your 2 hands trump any size plate. You simply take your 2 hands, you close your fingers up as much as possible. You move your thumbs out of the way. You put your hands together as close as possible and you lower your hands down over your food, right above your food, and then you look. If you cannot see your food sticking out from around your hands, then you have portion controlled. So right now, if you were to take your hands and put them down over your tummy, you can see that that's a very reasonable size. Our stomachs aren't really bigger than that. Now, we may have stretched them out to be bigger than that. I know I had, but your stomach will heal. If we start doing the right thing, your stomach will go back to its normal size. I'm so thankful that the Lord designed us in a way to heal when we do the right things for our body. Also, the great thing about hands is that if it's a man, his hands are typically a little bit bigger than a female. So hands help you get your portion based on your size. So it is very helpful. All right. So portions is very important. If you happen to be taking notes, please write this down. There are 3,500 calories, 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So in order to lose 1 pound of fat, you've got to be in a calorie deficit of 3,500 calories. Y'all, that doesn't happen overnight. That does not happen overnight. Basically, you would have to not eat and exercise all day. Nobody's going to do that, okay? So it happens over a course of a few days, a week, and so forth, all right? So, but the great thing about portions is on Shibboleth, we don't even hyper focus on counting calories. You'll hear us talk about it every once in a while, but that's really just some other knowledge. We do not count calories per se. You can if you want to, but we really don't. This is your calorie control. If it fits underneath your hands and it is a properly combined meal, you are going to be in that calorie deficit and get all the nutrients that you need for a meal. All right, so let's have a look at the next one. These are the first 4. We talked about water. In your head, go ahead and say right now what the minimum is. Journaling, we got to write down what we eat every day. Eating the right food combinations and portion control. Now, out of those 4 right there, only one of them you really need to start figuring out what that is. That's the combinations. It's not hard, but if you've never done it before, you're going to have to figure it out. But water, that's not hard. Y'all can start that tomorrow. Writing down what you eat can start tomorrow. Portion controlling, because you can use your 2 hands, starts tomorrow. Even if you quite don't know if your meal was properly combined, if you'll do all the rest, and you'll get results from that too. And then you can start to tweak and do what you need to do on those combinations. But we've got one more component of the shield, and this one is timing. Now, this is the only one that doesn't have to be met just right in order to say that you've had a perfect day. Okay, so I go over a few things on this page that relate back to the portions, and I'll talk about that in a second. But you can use up to, or you can eat up to 3 meals a day. So you can have up to 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. All right. It sounds, thank you, Missy. It sounds very reasonable. Does that sound reasonable that you get to eat 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner? This is the timing part. You should try to have those meals 4 to 6 hours apart. So let's say that you eat breakfast at 8 and then you're planning on eating lunch at noon. That would be 4 hours. Then you're planning on eating dinner at 6. That'd be 6 hours. That would be great. That would be great timing. So give yourself 4 to 6 hours. But let's say that you ate breakfast at 8 and then you get to work and all your coworkers want to go to work. Want to go to lunch at 11. And you're like, oh man, that's only 3 hours. That's all right. As long as you still have a properly portioned, properly combined meal, that's not going to throw you out of having a perfect day. The 4 to 6 hours is for optimization of what you're doing. Okay. But we do realize that everybody's got a different life and different time schedule and all that. So you got to do what fits in your lifestyle, trying to have no more than 3 meals a day, 4 to 6 hours apart. Now, that would be one of the best types of Shibboleth days. But see, I like to say we have GBB, good, better, and best. Okay. You're going to have the guidelines of the Shibboleth lifestyle, but within the guidelines, there's some flexibility. Okay. So if you just have up to 3 meals a day, that's excellent. Okay. That's the best. One of the best. But if you have a moment where you say, I am going to give in if I don't get something, then we call that a moment of mental weakness, because we want to be strong. We do want to be mentally strong, because see, really, it's mind over the taste buds. It's mind over emotion. It's mind over other things. So we have got to learn to control ourselves. But if we have what we call a moment of mental weakness, we've got you. You can use freebies, an extra, or a snack. All right, so you've got things. And so I'll talk about that in just a second. Now, keep in mind, though, that we are trying to stop grazing. Grazing is for cows, okay? This little guy, he has a stomach with 4 chambers in it designed for grazing. We don't. We have 1 stomach, 1 chamber. We were not designed to graze. Okay, so we're trying to stop grazing. But if you woke up, and I just use these times, you can use whatever times you need to. Let's see, Janet, awesome. Oh, I love it. Janet says, this lifestyle provides a rhythm of grace. It's awesome, and you will learn it if you keep coming back to this awesome class. Thank you, Janet. So let's say you eat breakfast at 8. And then you have an extra mid-morning, and then you have lunch, and then you have a snack mid-afternoon, and then you have dinner, and then you have a freebie. That's 6 times. What does that actually look like? That looks like grazing. But we are meeting people where they are. Hey, Gina, we are meeting people where they are on their journey. Okay. If you go from heavy grazing, hey, Connie, awesome. I'm glad you knew where to come. Yay. I'm glad you're here, Connie. If you're coming off of heavy duty grazing and always eating, then that may seem like a challenge to do those things. Okay. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. That's awesome. So that may seem like a challenge, and utilize what you've got to in the beginning to keep those perfect days. Okay. And then maybe you say, you know what, I don't really need that snack. And then you just have, maybe you just have 3 meals and a freebie. Thank you, Chris. That would be even better. And then if you just have 3 meals, that would be best. Okay. So you can see how it's good, better, and best in there, but it gives you some freedom and some flexibility. And I just love the fact that not every single day that I wake up is going to be exactly the same. There might be something going on, or I might have exerted more energy, maybe a little bit more hungry. Well, I just utilize these things. And I use these things purposefully. Okay, purposefully. I want to know how I'm using it, why I'm using it, and that's what I do. So the timing part is the keeping it 4 to 6 hours a day. I mean, between meals. That's the timing. And if you don't hit that just right, that's all right. If you hit the other 4 components of the shield, you still can keep a perfect day. But if you go over more than one extra or more than one snack in a day, that's actually going back to component number 4 and overeating your portions. And then it would not be a perfect day anymore. Okay. I hope that all makes sense, everybody. So that's all you got to do. I call these things my 5 daily disciplines. Get my water in, write down when I'm eating the right food combinations to control insulin, eat the right portions, and give myself a break between eating my meals to give my body a chance to start the digestive process, which is important to weight loss. Okay, so now we're going to go back to really component number 3, because those, hey, Deidre, glad you're here. Those component number 3 is the component that most people have to learn. Those other 5, that you can do that. All right, learn the categories of foods. There are 7 categories of food. So the categories are, number 1 is a lean protein, LP. That's the abbreviation for it. Number 2 is a fibrous carb, or FC. The reason we give abbreviations and numbers is because look over here at this chart. We wouldn't be able to fill in this long name of everything, so we do abbreviation and a number. Category 3, energy carbs, EC, also known as a complex carb. Most of the time you're going to see energy carb, but if you see complex carb, just know it's energy carb. Category 4, protein plus fat, PF. Category 5, fruit, FR. Antioxidant carb is the other, also known as antioxidant carb, or AC. Category 6, superfood, SF. And category 7, shellfish, SHF, which is really just a lean protein. Okay, so you've got 7 categories of food. Number 1 is a lean protein, and number 7 is shellfish, which is really just a lean protein. Shellfish just got pulled off of the main lean protein category because, due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, some people do not want to eat shellfish. Okay, so they're the bookends of the program, and that would be the best foods to eat for weight loss. We've got lean proteins. All this is going to work together, but lean proteins are really great. In the lean protein category, you've got egg whites, all fish, and chicken breast. In the fibrous carb category, you have broccoli, green beans, and we have over 177 different fibrous carb breads. Yes, I just said breads for fibrous carbs because the ones that we pick out for you to eat break down in your body more like a green bean. That's gonna be really exciting to be able to use our food library and figure out which ones you like best. And they're just simple things bought at the grocery store. Energy carbs, this is corn, carrots, potatoes. Protein plus fat, whole eggs, all cuts of steak, most pork products. Fruit, all fruit. Superfood, nuts, seeds, nut butters, most of your darker colored beans. And shellfish is, okay, so fish, all fish goes in category 1, but shellfish is all the other critters that live in water, whether or not they have a shell. So for example, if you were to eat octopus, it does not have a shell, but it would still just go in that category. Okay. And I'm not saying you have to eat octopus. I'm just giving that as an example. I wouldn't eat that. Okay, so when you have these 7 categories, Your focus this week is going to be starting to create your favorites lists. Coming up with your favorites is very, very important. And I just mentioned a few in each one. And I would start a little list. Category 1, I liked these things that she said. Category 2, I liked these things that she said. And tomorrow night, the 1 full hour webinar is on this topic tomorrow night. Okay, so don't miss that. Tonight's the overview. Tomorrow night, we're diving on just one topic of the overview. Okay. Out of these 7 categories, 5 of them can be eaten alone. You do not even have to combine them at all. Now, the reason I want you to know that is because we teach you situational eating. Eating situationally is being able to know how to make a good decision in any situation that you're in, okay? Any situation that you're in, because you may not be in the optimal eating situation every single meal of your life. I go to a lot of luncheons. Sometimes I go to these luncheons and I look at the little chafing dishes and I'm like, fat bus, fat bus, fat bus. Oh, good, they have steak. I'll eat steak. And I just eat steak and I'm quite happy eating my steak. It is called situational eating. I am able to make a good decision at any time. Okay, so the ones that you can eat alone are category 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. You can eat those alone if you need to or want to. So it was category 3 and category 5 that you cannot eat alone. And what I want you to do is I want you to set off an alarm in your head. Ding, ding, ding. Oh my goodness, I'm wanting a potato. It's an energy carb. I can eat it, but I've got to eat it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So once you have made your favorites lists in the energy carb list and the fruit list, I need you to start going ding, ding, ding around those things, because that ding, ding, ding will remind you, I need to eat that with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And I kind of reverse engineer my meals. So if I want to eat a potato, I'll say, okay, maybe I'm going to have a 96% lean ground beef hamburger patty and some green beans with it, and I'll have a small potato. That works. That works. And that looks like a classic meal that many people have eaten. Okay. So you just have to know that. Okay, so we skipped number 3 and number 5. If you want to eat a category 3 energy carb, it must be eaten with a category 1 and a category 2. And then if you want to eat fruit, it must be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Now, when I say a lean protein, technically it can come from 1 or 7, remember, because 1 and 7 are both lean proteins. All right, so let's look at what I want to go over that meal I just described with the potato. So we're going to use our hands. My potato amount is going to be about a quarter of a cup, and I'm going to put it right there underneath my hand, my fingers. My quarter of a cup is going to be right there. When you eat the potato, your blood sugar elevates. When your blood sugar elevates, your pancreas secretes insulin. When your pancreas secretes that insulin to come out to do a job. It comes out to regulate the blood sugar elevation. But we now know that we need to eat in a way that controls insulin. So we're going to eat it with, I'd used a 96% lean ground beef hamburger patty with green beans. So the protein in that hamburger patty and the fiber in the green beans are going to neutralize the insulin release that came out because of the potato. You just used food as medicine. You just used food to neutralize an insulin release from the potato. The lean ground beef hamburger patty, if you use 96% lean, it doesn't really have any fat in it. So the protein works and the fiber in the green beans work, and they'll neutralize that insulin release from the potato. It's like a science fair project is going on in your body every single time that you eat. And I think I want to win the blue ribbon. So I'm going to do right. I'm going to do what I've learned on Shibboleth. Okay, so let's have a look at fruit. Most of the time, people think, oh, fruit's good for me. I need to lose weight. I'm going to eat lots of fruit and I'm going to be so healthy. Well, fruit is good for you. Those beautiful colors have a lot of phytonutrients in them. And if they're an antioxidant carb, they've got antioxidants in them, which are great. But fruit is still fructose. Fructose is a natural what? Sugar. So your body doesn't say, oh, they ate fruit and fruit's good for me, I'm not going to release insulin. No, it just sees it as sugar and it elevates your blood sugar. And then your pancreas secretes insulin. And you've got to neutralize the insulin. So you would eat it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So maybe you want to have some berries for breakfast. You could make yourself an egg white spinach omelet. The protein in the egg whites and the fiber in the spinach will neutralize the insulin release from the berries. Now, berries are pretty low glycemic, so they don't release much of a insulin release, but still, we treat all fruit the same. All right, so is this making sense? Is anybody sitting there going, oh my goodness, this is great information? I know that I was. When I got my hands on this information, I was like blown away. All I have to do is I have to control insulin, okay? And we do that with food. And then up to 6 days a month, I can do whatever I want to. Now, remember in the beginning when I said there's two modes, weight loss mode or maintenance mode. And one of the differences between this was how you eat fruit. When you are in weight loss mode, fruit must be combined properly because you're really hyper controlling that insulin, okay? Once you get to maintenance, you aren't in the same nutritional situation that you were in weight loss mode. So when you are in maintenance, you can have fruit as a snack by itself if you choose to. But if you're eating it with a meal, you should still combine it properly. But you can also just have it as a snack. Okay, I'm in my late 30s. Honestly, never ate based on watching what kind of foods. Okay, good. I'm so excited that you're excited about that. It is absolutely amazing. It will blow your mind because, okay, we get into the calorie deficit by the portion control, okay? Imagine that you've never heard about controlling insulin. You get into that calorie deficit by portion controlling, but if you aren't eating the right foods, you're just storing new fat and defeating the calorie deficit that you got into. But if you put the two things together, you are going to be getting into a calorie deficit and burning fat. But when you control the insulin, you aren't storing new fat. You put those together, we got health going on. And weight management is part of being healthy. Okay, so let's go over number 4 though. Protein plus fat. Awesome, Barbara. Protein plus fat. Look, there's that word, fat. It is not a bad word. Our body actually needs fats for certain functions. And when you eat fat in a portion controlled way, it really just gets used up as energy and dissipates as heat. Okay, so this is not a bad word, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to eat it when you have insulin out in your body. We'll go over that in just a second. Victoria, I'm in my 70s and my metabolism is slower. Okay, so Victoria, we have a lady who at 75 years old started living the Shibboleth lifestyle, and she's lost 50 pounds and she's now 80. She's been maintaining that weight loss for quite some time. And we have another member who started Shibboleth when she was 80, and she's now 86 and maintains too. Victoria, you can do this. You can do this. You've got a lot of people in our groups in your age range, lots of them. We can do it, Victoria. And I got another person down in South Georgia that's just lost 30 pounds, and she's in her early 70s. So you got it. You got it, Victoria. This works for everybody. This will help you so much. And if any of y'all have any sugar issues or pre-diabetic or diabetic issues, this is going to help with that too. Okay, so let's look at that protein plus fat. You can eat it by itself, that's fine. But what you don't want to do with that is you do not want to eat it with anything that brings an insulin release. And there's 3 categories that you're not going to eat protein plus fat with. You're not going to eat it with your energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods. Now, you might have wondered why I added superfoods to that. Well, a food qualifies to be a superfood because it's got all 4 macronutrients in there. Hey, Michelle, I'm glad that you were down here, but safely back home now. I'm so glad I got to meet you. Thank you for telling me. A superfood has all 4 macronutrients in there. Yes, on planet Shibboleth, we consider water a macronutrient, but most of the time people are listening and they think protein, fat, and carbs, okay? But we also include so no problem with superfood and fruit. You wouldn't do those together, Connie. Okay. I'll come back and look at it in just a second. So superfood has water, protein, fat, and carbs in it. Because it's got the carbs in it, you're not going to eat it with a protein plus fat. All right. So let's do the story of a classic plate, a steak and a baked potato. So if you like steak and baked potato, I want to assure you, Shibboleth is not taking it away from you. You can have it up to how many times a month if you wanted it. How many days a month could you have a steak and a baked potato if you really wanted it? Y'all answer that real quick. Awesome, y'all. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, you could have steak and baked potato up to 6 times a month if you wanted it. So there is nothing that you can't eat on planet Shibboleth. It just depends on which day you're doing it on. That's right, Missy. Oh, I got you. Okay, so Connie wants me to repeat what you can't eat with a protein plus fat. You don't eat energy carbs, which are your 3s, fruit, which is your 5s, or superfoods, which are your 6s, because they bring now the superfood category varies greatly, but because it's got some carbs in there, we don't eat that with the fat. So 3s, 5s, and 6s, Connie. Okay, so let's say that you eat a potato. You eat a potato, and the potato, think about this, the potato doesn't really have any fat in it. It's not the potato that's got the fat in it. It's the potato that is the catalyst to fat storage. Mushrooms are category 2 fibrous carbs. So the fat, the potato is the catalyst to fat storage. So if you eat the potato, your blood sugar elevates, your pancreas secretes insulin. It comes out to do the job of blood sugar regulation. But you ate it with a steak and it goes, whoa, let me go capture that. Let me go capture that fat, because I'm a fat storage growth hormone. And so we call it the fat bus. It just goes around and picks up those fat lipids that are out in your body at that moment. Okay, so let's think. On a day, Melissa, dairy, well, first of all, fat-free cheese is a category 1 lean protein. We do have some cheeses that have a little bit more fat in them that are a category 4 protein plus fat. So it depends on which one. You'd want to make sure that it was approved and it goes in both categories. Category 1 lean protein and category 4 protein plus fat. Let's say that there's a day and you say, I really want a steak and a baked potato today, but it is Connie, you don't have to eat a steak with a two. You can eat a steak by itself if you wanted to, but optimally you'd eat it with a two. And that is a very great combination. Very great combination. Yes, but it can be eaten by itself, but with a two would be great. Okay, so let's say that you've marked that day as a perfect day. But all of a sudden you've got a hankering for a steak and a baked potato. But you think through the process, you think through it. You don't just give in to every little whim that your body tells you to do. You control what goes on and you think through it. And you go, okay, today's a perfect day. I don't really want to eat that steak and baked potato that I'm kind of wanting right now. Okay, I've got a holiday coming up on X day. I'll eat that steak and baked potato then. But today, is it really the potato that I'm wanting more, or is it the steak I'm wanting more? Because if it's the potato that you're wanting more, just have it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb, and you could have a perfect day by eating that potato. But if it's the steak that you're wanting more, just have it with a category 2 fibrous carb, and you've got a perfect day still. Because if you eat steak, which is a protein plus fat, the fat lipids are going to be out in your body. But if you haven't had a blood sugar elevation and then a pancreas secreting insulin, that fat is not going to get captured and stored. This is brilliant information. And I'm telling you, it works like that. I originally wanted to lose 35.5 pounds. I lost that in about 3 months. And then I went on to go into maintenance. I thought, oh, okay, I'm here. I'm going to stay right here. I went into maintenance. As I was just continuing to live the lifestyle, I lost 15 more pounds. And so now I've maintained that 50-pound weight loss for 2 years, which is excellent. Okay, so because this topic is pretty big, so the question is, does dairy-free products such as coconut-based yogurt or ice cream work with this? So it would have to be an approved product, but we do have a lot of those products approved. If you do not find the product in the food library, what you do is you take a picture of the front of the item and the back of the item, and you post it in the group called Shibboleth Fixed It. And Kim Shibboleth, which is our food guru, she'll have a look at that for you and she'll tell you whether or not it will work. Yeah, so they definitely can work as long as all the nutrition works together. And if it's not in the food library, let us have a look at it for you, and then we will be happy to let you know if it works. Okay, so what this overview is about is like understanding why you're doing what you're doing. But tomorrow night, we're going to be talking a lot more about what foods go in each one of these categories and how those look as meals. We're going to be doing that for 1 full hour tomorrow night. But let's have a look right here at this chart here. We've got the red column, the yellow column, and the blue column. The blue column is what we call the lifestyle column. I did that Yasso Greek yogurt thing today. It was really good. I was for the first time. But okay, so this blue column is what we call the lifestyle column. You're going to see a lot more items on a plate and that type of stuff. And this is, I always equate this like a trip to the beach. This is like you've taken the scenic route to the beach. Okay, this yellow column, but it's fast weight loss because you're controlling insulin still. This yellow column is faster weight loss. It's like you're getting on the highway to go to the beach. This red column, you are blowtorching fat like you'd blowtorch butter. This is like you're getting on the interstate to the beach. But I want you to think about any trip that you have taken to the beach. You're not just on the interstate. You're not just on the highway. You're not just on the scenic route. You're a little bit of all of them. And so, so any lifestyle that you lead, some days you could be more on fire than other days. Maybe you get to the weekend and you're thinking, I want a little bit more on my plate. So you have a meal that's from the blue column. This is why Shibboleth is so awesome, is because it's got a lot of variety in it. Now, this is called phase 1, first 7 to 10 days. Okay, so let me just tell you, technically, you can eat category 3s and category 5s in your first 7 to 10 days. If you wanted to have a look at the advanced combination chart, it is in lap 6 of Fast Track. But if you are willing to let the fruit and the energy carbs go for your first 7 to 10 days and stick with this combination chart, you could have some even better results. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read just a couple of these lines so you'll understand what this means. I'm looking at the blue column now, the very first line. This reads like this, because first of all, this is not algebra and we are not doing math. These plus signs we are not adding, and these letters in this does not mean we're doing algebra. Okay, this reads like this: category 1 lean protein eaten with category 6 superfood, eaten with category 2 fibrous carb. That might look like chicken breast, black beans, and broccoli. Okay, let's come right over here. This is a category 4 protein plus fat, eaten with a category 2 fibrous carb. And if you come over here, this is a category 1 lean protein, eaten with category 2 fibrous carb, cooked in MCT oil, which we're going to go over shortly. So each one of these is just an example of a meal, and you make a meal by these little combinations based on the favorites list that you've created. That's why it's so important for you to write down as many lean proteins that you can come up with that you like. And if you will methodically and use the organized methodical curriculum called Fast Track, it'll lead you to doing all of those things. It is a little homeworky, but I'm a former teacher and principal, and that's the only way that I know for people to learn. Okay, so let's recap those things. Category 1 or category 7, those are both shellfish, eaten with a category 2 and cooked up in MCT oil, are the fastest fat burning combination. You are blowtorching fat like you'd blowtorch butter with that meal. If you want to eat a category 3 energy carb or a category 5 fruit, you must eat it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. I want you to set your mind to saying ding, ding, ding on your favorite energy carbs and fruit so that you can eat it with the proper things. We just don't eat category 4s, which is a protein plus fat, with things that bring an insulin release, and that would be energy carbs, fruit, and superfoods. And all meat at a restaurant should be considered a category 4, even if it's chicken breast. See, at home, you cook chicken breast in an approved oil, which we're going over next. You would cook that in an approved oil. But at a restaurant, they're not using our approved oils. And so because we make this lifestyle practical and eating out is what people do, you've got to just know how to do it. So you can eat a piece of chicken at a restaurant. You just wouldn't choose to have it with energy, carbs, fruit, or superfoods, because we're now calling that chicken a protein plus fat because of what they cooked it in. They cooked it in fat. And so that would lead you to either 1, eat it by itself, or 2, order it with a fibrous carb. Maybe you do broccoli, side salad, cauliflower, something like that. Okay, now this is really important. Approved cooking oils. See, Shibboleth is really just what we call simple swaps. If the loaf bread that you buy now is not approved, you simply swap it to one that is, and in the category 2 fibrous carb breads. If the tortilla that you buy now is not approved, you simply swap it. So there's simple swaps when it comes to what you're buying in the grocery store, and there's simple swaps with what you're eating on the plate together, and there's simple swaps in the oils. Okay, so our number 1 oil is 100% MCT oil. MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride. A medium chain triglyceride has almost no propensity to be stored on your body as fat. Amen. I have not bought anything but MCT oil in 2.5 years, because why would I want to do anything that wasn't absolutely the best? LCTs, which are long chain triglycerides, such as olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, they have a great propensity to be stored on your body as fat. So we're not going to use those on a perfect day. You could also use coconut oil, but coconut oil is not 100% MCT oil. It's 66% MCT oil. But what is MCT oil? Well, it's all the MCTs pulled out. It's kind of like they've clarified. I mean, I don't want to use, I'm going to use this, but I'm going to use this term loosely. It's kind of like they've clarified just the oil they want out of a coconut oil or it can come from palm oil, but most of the time I see it from coconut oil. But you just want to make sure if you're wanting to use the fastest fat burning, make the fastest fat burning combination, you use the 100% MCT oil. And when you're buying that, flip it over and look at the back. It needs to say medium chain triglycerides. If it says MCT on the front of the bottle, but then you flip it over and the ingredients list says coconut oil, please know that's just coconut oil. It really needs to say, it could say medium chain triglycerides from coconut oil. It could say that, but if it just says coconut oil, it's just coconut oil, and that's not 100%. So just making you aware. We do sell a medium chain triglyceride that we really like. It's called Zero Drag. Zero Drag. That can be found in our little store. If you do not want to get that for some reason, the second one that Travis really likes is called Now Nutrition. You can find that in our food library, and then you can click through to Amazon. When you do that, it helps our ministry a little bit. We get 2 to 4 cents on the dollar, you know, a couple $100 a month helps with anything. Okay, then you could also use ghee butter, Ghee butter. Now this is butter. It's just been clarified, meaning all the milk solids have been pulled out of it. It's just fat that's left. And this is 25% medium chain triglycerides. And then you can use 0-calorie cooking spray. So here's how I make a decision. If I am cooking a lean protein, whether it's from category 1 or category 7, I use a medium chain triglyceride. If I am cooking a protein plus fat, I use 0-calorie cooking spray. I do not use ghee butter to spread on toast. I do use it for cooking. But to spread butter on toast, I use the Brummel and Brown yogurt butter, or the I can't believe it's not butter spray, depending on what I'm doing. You know, you'll figure out all these things. Like if I'm making a grilled cheese, I can't believe it's butter spray. If I'm eating a piece of toast, then I'll do the Brummel and Brown yogurt butter. If I'm making a recipe or cooking shellfish, I use ghee butter. So you'll figure out all these things. Medium chain triglycerides need to be cooked on low to medium heat. Otherwise, they will set off your smoke detector because they burn very, very quickly. 1 tablespoon is the amount you wouldn't want to go over per serving. What kind of butter or toast? Oh, well, it would be a category 2 fibrous carb toast. And then the butter, I use, Brummel and Brown. Brummel and Brown yogurt butter. I buy it at Kroger. I think I've also bought it at Ingles. I don't think I've looked for it at Publix, but, and then I can use the, I can't believe it's not butter spray. If I'm wanting a butter flavor, but with no calories, that's what I use. Brummel and Brown. Okay. You're welcome. All right. We are wrapping up. Oh, Janet says they also have it at Walmart. So we want to remain in EFB as often as possible. EFB stands for efficient fat burning. We are striving for perfect days, but planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. You do not have to throw your hands up in the air and say, I can't do this. No, you have your holiday, then you get back to business. The rhythm of grace, as Janet said just a few minutes ago, okay? Now, after a holiday, it takes 2 perfect Shibboleth days to get your body back into EFB where it's going to efficiently burn fat again. Then you string as many efficient fat burning days together as you can, and then planned or unplanned, you're going to have a holiday. After that, you get back to business, and then you string as many efficient fat burning days together as you can. See, this will create a trending down in your weight pattern rather than a trending up in your weight pattern. When we are in EFB, our body will burn stored energy. Stored energy is just fat. And we need our body to burn that energy for the energy that we need rather than that easily accessible energy, such as unapproved oils and unapproved starchy and sugary carbs. If we're giving our body all those long chain triglycerides and starchy and sugary carbs, it's always going to go to that first, and it's never going to start burning that stored energy. It's always going to go to the easy stuff first. So we're going to get our body in EFB. Let's recap what the fat bus is. The fat bus is insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone, a fat storage hormone. Insulin also increases appetite. After an insulin increase, fat storage will occur for up to 48 hours, meaning you're out of EFB, hence the 2 days to get back into EFB once you start having perfect days again. After the fat bus has been on its rounds, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into EFB. What are you going to eat this week? Make a list of 7 favorite lean proteins, 7 favorite fibrous carbs, and eat 1 from one category, 1 from the other category. And then use MCT oil if you have it to make it the fastest fat burning combination. If you were eating Pop-Tarts before, find a few meal replacements that work for you, kind of like a Mighty Muffin, and that's for simplicity, and just have a variety of things. Keep it simple in the beginning and then branch out as you live and learn the lifestyle. Welcome to the Shibboleth family. Now, I'm going to pop over here and show you something else real quick. What if you exercise? Will you talk? Okay, Barbara, you can exercise. Exercise is no problem. You just don't eat more because you're exercising. Exercising really just helps you get into a greater calorie deficit, but you don't eat more because of it. And you're welcome. There is a myth that people think that they can lose weight and build muscle at the same time. You can't, because building muscle requires a calorie surplus, and losing and burning fat requires a calorie deficit. So exercise will help you get into a greater calorie deficit. It will also help you preserve muscles, but you just don't eat more because of it if you're trying to lose weight. And there's also seasons. So once you get to the weight that you want to be, then there's you can do things seasonally. You can be in a building season, and you could be in a reduction season. Let's see. Janet says, please don't give up if you feel overwhelmed right now. Just do what you understand and keep coming back. That is great advice. Great advice. I love it. So right now, I want y'all to see this. I want you to see Fast Track, because this is the organized system that teaches you the Shibboleth lifestyle. Now, I'm going to be with you every night live at 7:30. But there's 2 laps that I do not physically go over with you, lap 1 and lap 2. And this looks like a long list, but there's about 5 of these things that will take a total of about 20 seconds. Okay. So right here, and I got to that by clicking on dashboard. If you're brand new, when you log into your account, you automatically go here. But if you aren't new and you go to this, you click on dashboard and then click on Fast Track from there if you're coming back to Shibboleth. This is just an organized way to do things. You can watch this little tutorial video on how to do these things. When you take your mouse and hover your mouse over each little action item, a black box pops up. That black box are the instructions about that task. Then you just do that task and you check the box. Okay. Then you read the next black box. You do the task, you check the box. And then right here, these are all your new member printables, your welcome packet and guidelines, your combination chart, the fastest combination chart and rules. Travis is our founder. Travis's Fast Start meal ideas. This is the phase 1 program book. But this one's 66 pages long, and I do make note of that in the black box. That way, if you don't want to print it, you don't have to. I actually read that on an airplane flying back from Texas. I learned the Shibboleth lifestyle in a hotel room in Texas. I'll have to tell y'all that story a different day. We're running out of time tonight. And then this is the new member food library. And then these are, if you are Facebook users, join these groups here and like the public page. But if you are not a Facebook user, just check these boxes like you've done it, okay? And then in lap 2, oh, I love lap 2. Lap 2 helps you get your account set up in the way that you need to. This is probably important to watch that video there to learn how to do that, okay? You're gonna confirm your email, find your ideal weight, complete a full body assessment, complete your profile, making sure to record your starting weight and starting measurements. Take a before, front, and side picture and upload to your account and define your why. See, these are things we can't do together. You've got to do those on your own. So that's why you got to work on lap 1 and 2 on your own. But then if you happen to miss any webinars during the week, right here in Fast Track, this is where it says watch the daily Fast Track webinars. There are 7. That's where they'll all be. They all will be sitting right there and waiting for you on demand. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to use this website link to teach the class. That way you have access to it. I link it here. And then if you haven't taken the Fast Track quiz yet, I give you an opportunity to take it right here before we get into lap 3, because in lap 3, lap 4, and lap 6, we're going to be going over the food library, the recipe library, and the restaurant guide, and you're going to want full access to that. And by taking the Fast Track quiz, you will get full access, because if you have not taken the quiz, you aren't seeing the full food library yet. So you want to take that quiz as part of working through lap 1 and 2. But then on Tuesday night through Saturday night, I go over each of these laps with you, okay? This is the badge that you'll earn. This is your very first badge right here. This full access badge is the badge that you will earn after you have taken your Fast Track quiz, okay? And it will give you full access to the food library, recipe library, and restaurant guide. But y'all use Fast Track to your benefit. It will really help you move through that in an organized way. For those of you who are new, I do a little show in the morning. It's morning motivation and daily devotion on the Shibboleth public page. And it's around 7:30, 7:40-ish in the mornings, unless I have to be somewhere early, and I'll do it earlier. But I do that Monday through Friday. I do that Monday through Friday. And if you'll go ahead and like the public page and say that you want to get all notifications, you'll be notified when I go live. And it does help us focus our day. Barbara, yes. So this 7:30 nightly webinar starts over every Sunday and goes through Saturday night. I am live here every night at 7:30. So if you have questions, you can come and ask them. If by chance you miss a night, just watch it on replay. Awesome, Chris. I love that. I love that you come on to the Shibby Show in the morning after your walk. If you miss it, Barbara, watch it on replay. It's in lap 2. Right there. We're going to have a great time this week. Y'all, I learned so many new things. I have made I don't know if y'all noticed this. If those of you who are already members, I've been making all kinds of cooking videos this week because I get inspired by what I teach y'all in the recipe library. Awesome, Tara. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to hop off of here. I kept y'all 9 minutes later than I normally do, but I had a lot to say, I guess. So I will see you in the morning. But my prayer for you is keep them safe day and night. Give them courage, strength, and might. Bye, everybody. You're welcome, Tracy.